Welcome back. This is Sorcery Blind Playthrough Part 10. So last time, I used the tower, and now I'm going to explore around and see what's what. So let's go over there. You abandon the clear road and walk across the grassy fields. Heat beats down from the empty sky. You crest a low rise and look down across the grass, offering something of a view. Let's look south. Looking south, you can make out Althara's tree. Well, I know where I want to go. Now looking around, east of the Barubak Ridge lie the Kauatabaga Steeps, which you must cross to reach the lake. Okay, towards the cliff. You make your slow way across the verdant grassland. The afternoon is starting to draw on. This, then, is the pit of the Balklands. It is not as fearsome as you had expected. Or maybe the sludge and grime of care has toughened your resolve. Indeed, in this strange magical light it is almost pleasant. You continue to walk. Once more you enter the shadow of the cliff that surrounds this place. Days are short out here. The evening is drawing in. The grass meadows ends by the cliff base, and the carved stone steps that lead away from the Balklands. Climb the steps. You haul yourself onto the first of the gigantic steps that leads to the cliff face. You clamber up the carved rock, then about halfway up you pause to rest near entrance of a cave. Look at the cave mouth. The cave is clearly inhabited. A cloth hangs across the opening. It's a cave. Enter the cave. You push back the cloth hanging and enter the cave. Inside. Welcome, murmurs a voice from the shadow at the far end of the space. Greetings, you reply politely. You hear footsteps padding forward over sand, and then a shambling figure appears, a woman with crazed white hair, wearing rags of animal skin. You, she says, with a quiet laugh. I had no idea I would see you again. Her voice is familiar from somewhere, but you have not met anyone so old. I bet this is the person that we played dice with. I recognize you, he began thoughtfully. I remember your laugh. I laughed when you beat me at Mindstone, she replies. But it was a very long time ago, of course. I was so young. I was rather in love with you, as I recall. With that, she steps forward once more, coming into the thin moonlight as the entrance of the cave. You gasp. Though this woman is old beyond imagine, you recognize her face. It is Althara, with whom you were playing dice only hours before. How is this possible? You demand, afraid of what curse has befallen her. She laughs. It this not normal where you come from? She asks. Within my people, we change with this way as time passes. It is quite normal. How long ago did we last meet? You ask. horrified by what the answer might be. "When we met, I was barely 16, she says. Now, let me see. I suppose am 113, if I don't count the years I spent as an eagle." She shrugs, sadly. "But welcome all the same. Perhaps you are thirsty?" From a corner of the cave she produces a jug, which has been catching water dripping down the stone. "Thank you." She pours you a cup, and you drink gratefully and quickly feel thoroughly refreshed. "It is barely any time since I last met you," you tell her, amazed. "Then the curse on this land affects me, but not you," she says. "Perhaps you will be able to leave unlike the others." "What others?" "The others, all the others that survived the new crown," she replies. "They wander the wilderness in circles, lost, endlessly repeating themselves, quite unstuck." "Can you tell me about the 7 serpents?" you ask. Elthra looks surprised. 7 serpents? Suddenly her face is alive with activity, and she hobbles back into the depths of her cave, returning a moment later, clicking her fingers. "I haven't seen this. I have seen this. I have seen this in the stars. About 7 serpents turns the fate of a man, and about that turns the fate of a world. But I thought the 7 serpents were stars." She points up there. "The 7 serpents are real. They are most powerful," she replies. "They are all but indestructible. If you see one of these serpents, stranger, I believe that you must run." "The serpents have weaknesses," you tell her. "They can be defeated." She tilts her head. "Such bravery! Such foolishness!" she murmurs. "You must know them to kill them. But to know them is to be killed by them." She shakes her head. "And the whole land turns on this side. So the whole land must surely fall." The woman coughs. "You're a sorcerer, are you not?" she asks. "I am." She nods. "There is a secret known only to the most powerful sorcerers in this land. The sorcerer of the fortress know it, I am sure, but they have tried to keep it a secret. Would you like to hear it?" "Indeed I would," you reply with a nod. Ethera nods in return. "It is said, you see, that sorcery is unstoppably powerful. These sorcerers tell us that magic controls the world's very warp and weft, that once woven a spell cannot be unwound. The claim is bold, but I have learned it is also untrue." "What do you mean?" "Magic. Some magic, perhaps all magic, can be countered, just as the parrying blade can stop a sword. I have discovered one such counterspell already. The spell of healing opposes the enchantment of a fireball. I believe if one can recognize the spell being cast, and one knows the form, then one can prevent that spell with the cast of the other." "The counterspell has been recorded in your spellbook." "Cool. What about the most powerful spells?" Or I say I'll try it. That's this one. She shrugs. "I have not tested it, but yes, perhaps even the most powerful spell can be undone." As she speaks, she draws a shape in the air. A horizontal line, a diagonal, another diagonal, is a letter Z. How can I cross the Balkans, you ask? You must know these lands well after so long. There was a bridge there and a river, she replies. A grand bridge, quite ancient. I used to climb it and drop sticks over one side. What happened to it? The land is lost, she replies. The very soil has been cursed, and all who walk upon it are victims. I stay in my cave now, but it does not do much good. The woman sits down quietly, quite suddenly, in the state of some despair. Go over to her. You approach her, hoping to console her, but she does not react to your presence. She does not even blink. The woman murmurs softly to herself. Look around the cave. You glance around the cave. Althera has few possessions to speak of, but your interest is taken more by the dust that covers the floor. Stone dust can be very valuable for magic. Gather up some stone dust. You scrape together a handful's worth of stone between your palms and slip it into your money pouch for safekeeping. The woman's third eye seems to glow momentarily. Move on. You step away from the old woman and look about for where to go next. Then quite suddenly she grabs your leg. I will find them, she hisses, but it will take some time to search. Come back. Then her eye rolls up into her skull. Let's see what's further in. Stepping carefully past the catatonic woman, you make your way further into the back of the cave. After a narrow passage, it opens out to reveal a wide space lit by torchlight. The walls are covered with scratching writing, curious symbols and glyphs, all in the same shaky hand. A tangle of rope slides in one corner. A little dust trickles from the ceiling. Let's look at the glyphs. Intrigued by the writing, you look over some symbols. They are a mixture of star signs, letters, numbers, and shapes you do not recognize. There is no order. It is as though their scribe them was desperately trying to capture as much as possible of a dream before it was forgotten. The results are quite indecipherable, especially in the near darkness, and barely any space is left. Only one patch of blank stone near the base of the wall. Some of the glyphs on the wall are split, you noticed, by crazed cracks in the stone. Let's look at the cracks. You turn your attention to the cracks in the wall themselves. It is as though the cliff itself is slowly shearing apart. One crack in particular spars the ceiling and threatens to bring down the roof. Looking more closely, you see why. It is filled with a seam of some soft metal, which is slowly wearing away. Look at the blank stone. You squat down to look at the blank stone, but see nothing. It is natural rock, only remarkable because every other surface has been etched or carved. Above the blank section is drawn a rude outline of a snake, followed by a hand and two vertical lines. Look at the ropes. You go over to the bundle of rope and unravel it to discover it is in fact a sturdy rope ladder. You bundle it up into your pack. Dig out the metal seam. You dig at the metal seam with your sword. It is worthless tin and comes away easily. There is a noise like rumbling thunder. The stones above shift perceptibly. Quickly you put your sword away before you bring the rocks down on your head. Cast a spell. Might want to rewind that, because she might not help me now. No, not sus. Rock. Turn to stone. Requires stone dust. I do have that. Okay. Look at the stuff, but not take anything. Because I don't want to upset her. She might be able to help me with the mages. Okay, let's see. You head back out of the cave, avoiding a cascade of small stones from a crack in the ceiling as you go. The cave mouth. You return from the rear of the cave. Althara is still here, squatting in a corner and rocking quietly. Ask her about the glyphs. What do the symbols on the wall of the cave mean? She shakes her head slowly. Too much to see, she murmurs. Not enough space. Her voice fades once more. Move on. You leave Althara to her mumblings. Okay. You step out of the cave on the stairs. The view below is quite giddying. You are one step from plunging to the pit floor. Move on. The steps continue in both directions, otherwise you could return to the cave. Okay, let's go back to the tower and have the tower facing somewhere else. We have reached the bottom of the cliff. Darkness closes in. You need to rest, especially after walking all day without eating. The grass meadows ends by the cliff base and the carved stone steps that lead away from the boglands. Yeah, I guess we should rest here. You find an old fox hole and scrabble inside. You have eaten nothing today, but you only have one ration left. Let's just sleep. You lie back and try to forget your troubles. You feel quite safe here, and you do not dream. So sleep will not heal you if you haven't eaten. Okay. Cliff Base, Day 3. You lost some gold, -3, and met Althara the Mystic again. I lost some gold. Oh, I probably moved some gold out of my pouch to have the dust. Okay. That's what I'm guessing, or maybe the boy stole it. You pull yourself out of your hole and stand up. The grass meadows ends by the cliff base and carved stone steps that lead away from the boglands. Okay, move on. Okay, let's just take the same path. The early morning sun makes the air glow. You stride on. You have been wandering the boglands for 3 days already. You still not crossed the ridge. Cross the plain. You carry on, trampling across the grassland, enjoying the soft chirping of insects. The day is like likely to be clear and will not be hot once more. Make a move. You continue on your journey. You rejoin the road. The rising wind tugs at your hair and cloak. Okay, let's climb up. The tower. You climb back up the gripweed to the top of the tower. You are back on the top of the tower in the area near the southern cliffs. The beacon is lit. Okay, Jess? Okay. Try and adjust it. Try and get both the bridge and that. I think I tried that last time. Because I want the tower. Come on. Just tried it a second ago, I think. Okay, I don't think I'm gonna get through this. Let's see. Let's try to get multiple things I see out there. Let's do this right here. It's in the way I want, right? Okay. Okay, climb down the tower. Time to rejoin the road. You return to the road. The mid-afternoon heat floods the valley. The road north. The line of the road curves gently as you follow it. The surface begins to crack underfoot. Weeds break through the stone crack. Soon the roadway is lost under a layer of fine dust. The sun is beginning to lower and the air begins to cool. The line of this grand wide road is all but invisible now. A little way off, a line of shadow marks a yawning fissure in the ground. Let's move on. To the bridge. The road meets the edge of the fissure. Slowly the sun begins to make its way back down the sky. The road comes to a stop at the edge of the wide fissure in the ground, and the ruins of an ancient bridge. Okay. The wind roars along the crack in the ground in front of you, like a mockery of a river. Okay, let's cast a spell. I'm not sure what spell worked. Not force field. I believe fall worked. You cast a spell, lightening your body weight to a mere fraction of normal. And then another one, I think, worked with it. Cause slowness. You cast a spell, but without any other creatures around, the only target is yourself. You feel no different once the spell is taken hold, but the clouds overhead seem to double their haste. Suddenly you see movement on the edge of the fissure. Some kind of long spiked reaches up over the edge, bends and hooks into the ground, closely followed by another. With the spell of slow motion still affecting you, you cannot run. The creature is upon you by the time the spell wears off. You draw your sword and wait for the creature to advance. Oh, I just wasted a little bit of life. It's attack heavy. The lich bug crisscrosses its mandibles in the air. It tries to scratch you, and you raise the sword and aim to carve the thing in two. You land a simple blow. The creature is losing its scales, but it keeps coming. The bug's long spines stretch, its antennae rub together in anticipation. Spock. You drop back, raising your sword to protect your body as much as possible. The lich bug dashes forward, bounding across the dirt. You fall over yourself, trying to escape of its reach. Then it stiffens, perhaps making ready to jump, and towers over you. It's attack heavy. Oh, it was blocking. I still did too, though. That works. Enough of this. You will not be defeated by an insect. You swing hard. The lich bug, mid-lunge, bends almost delicately away from your blade. The lich bug stumbles sideways, and its double eyelid flickers across its many eyes. You have injured it. Spock. You circle away from the lich bug. It lunges, striking with its long arms. Its hooked claws seem to glow as they reach for you. Then it straightens up. Attack heavy again? There we go. Not too bad. You prepare your sword. You chop with your sword. Then your blade lands deep. You cut again. Twist, and the lynch bug collapses into the dirt. Skilled swordplay. You gasp for breath. The horrible creature is defeated. You look around once more. A few birds swoop and wheel in the crevice, turning circles that are way below you, and yet still high up in the air. There was once a bridge here. The road runs up to it, and a few stone pushes out over the yawning abyss, but it has long ago tumbled into ruin, and now it does nothing but give you an impressive place to look down. Look down into the crevice. You creep to the edge of the crack to look down into it. It seems to drop for miles. The sides plunge like a waterfall of rock. The drop is lost in mist, and rock walls seem quite sheer. Okay. Maybe I just need to cast one spell. Cast slowness. And jump across. You eye up the width of the gap cautiously. It is a long distance, made harder to judge by featurelessness of the far side. You will probably be unable to make it, at least not without aid. Jump. Taking a short, slow motion run up, you stride for the edge of the fissure and hurl yourself out into space, through the air. The chasm whisks away below you at comical speed, and the wind that batters at you is not enough to slow you down. A moment later you collide into the ground on the far side, in a pile of scratches and scrapes. Also, I only need to cast that spell. Your rate returns and you settle gradually back down to the ground. The world begins to slow down once more as you begin to speed up. You feel somewhat lightheaded, but otherwise well enough. The bleak plain stretches away once more. Behind you, wind whistles through the fissure. Okay, let's move on. You waste no time. You must move on. Follow the road. You continue across the wasteland. The sun is sinking and the sky is turning bruised purple. It will be dark soon. The road is barely visible through the dust. A few scarred bones line the path. Look at the bones. You pick over a few of the bones. Thin Firmer's long arms. Elven and most likely, or black elf. The wind has scoured them dry. You continue to walk. Okay, let's look at this tower. Maybe I can do something to the bones. The tower. You continue following the road. Clouds rumble as they roll across the dimming sky. Soon it will be dark. The plains are wide and empty. To the south, the fissure yawns, wider here and furiously deep. To the north, the land climbs a low rocky rise. Off the road. You step off the road and walk across the sunny, grassy fields. Another night begins. You should try to find a place to sleep, especially after so much walking on an empty stomach. You reach the base of the stone tower. The moonlight picks out the outline of the door. Try the door. You try the door, but it is locked. Still, at least this tower has a door. Unlock the door with a key. You pull out a key you found inside the despair snake's body, and try the door. Remarkably enough, it turns. The old door creaks open. Presumably, whoever last locked the door met a most unfortunate end some time ago. Move on. The sun disappears. Go inside. You step through the tower door into the cool shade within. Who knows how long it has been since anyone last set foot inside? Base of the tower. You stand in a wide, cool, cavernous space. The roof disappears off above you, dimly echoing your footsteps. The air is musty, perhaps undisturbed for centuries. The room is filled with a thin, sickly smell. Smell the air? You take a deep lungful of the still air, smelling something sweet and musty that takes a moment to place. It is a smell of tombs, graveyards, and crypts, but it not decay. Then you place it. This is the smell of darkvine, a thick climbing plant that grows only in the dark places. Thankfully, it is not harmful unless eaten in very large quantities. Search the room. You search around the edges of the room, but cannot make out very little in the almost total darkness. The tower is anyway, windowless and anyway it is dark outside. Let's rest here. This is a calm, sheltered place to rest. You should be protected from the elements and from any creatures about the night. You have not eaten today, but you are down to just one ration. Eat. Taking the last of your provisions from your pack, you fill your empty stomach and try not to think about what you will eat tomorrow. Then you stretch out and rest. You are protected here, and your rest is untroubled by dreams. You ran out of provisions, reach the northern planes and found no new clues. The sun may have risen outside, but the only windows here are thin slots. The inside of the tower is cavernous and empty, but for a stone staircase that spiral around the walls. Dark vines have grown up the inside of the tower and form a thick marring across the ceiling. Make a move. The way up is blocked, so the door is the only way out. Hold on. Guess I gotta cut down the vines. You climb to the top of the stairs and hack the dark vines that grow across the ceiling. They begin to drip a thick ooze sap onto the floor of the tower. Keep cutting. You slash again at the vines across the roof, uncovering a trapdoor. It is bolted shut. The sap now covers your hands and arms. It is beginning to cool and solidify. Let's see, what can I cast here? You open your arms wide and to raise a spell, but before you can craft your magic, your arms set into position. Your magic fizzles away around you, and you are left like a statue, both arms raised above your head. You are now trapped stiff, covered by a solid casing. Struggle. You try to struggle, but your arms and legs are quite firmly stuck in position. If you are to die in this position, it will be most undignified. You look like a court acrobat. Tip myself over? It is a drastic circumstance which calls for drastic measures. Throwing your weight to one side, and then the other, you begin to tip, and finally manage to overbalance, toppling off the staircase. You tumble to the floor, and the amber casing around your body shatters. You are free once more. Open the trapdoor. Enjoying your regained mobility, you hurry back up the stairs once more, and pulling the trapdoor bolt back. The hatch to the roof falls open, letting in a ray of sunshine. Search the room. Instead of going through the hatch, you use the light to poke around the corners of the room. You find little of interest until you stumble over what appears to be an old traveling pack. Open it. You open the pack. You are surprised to find the brand of the Analand leathers inside the top flap. Digging inside, you find 3 stoppered vials. Examine the purple vial. You lift the purple vial and shake it in the lift. The liquid inside is thin but shines lightly. Unstopper it and smell. You unstopper the potion but not need to smell it closely. The scent is rancid, rank and not rancid, acrid. Okay, well, I'll keep it. You put it into your pack. An excellent find. Examine the brown vial. The brown vial contains a thick oil that you do not recognize it. Smell it. You unstopper the vial. A woody smell fills your nostrils. This is the essence of bark. A good thing you did not try to taste it. Keep it. You put the essence of bark into your pack alongside the purple vial. Examine the yellow vial. The yellow liquid is thin and sour-looking. The vial has a mark on it depicting a serpent. That one's almost definitely poison. Keep it. You put the yellow vial into your pack. It is a poison, and so long as you're careful, may come in useful at some point. Leave the rest. Then you close your pack, satisfied with what you have found. Make a move. Now it's time to make a move on. You could go back out to the plain or up to the top of the tower. Let's go to the top. You push open the hatch and go through, to be met by a strong wind. You stand atop the stone tower, in the northern plains of Badu Bak. Oh, I remember why I have 3 less gold. It's because I gave it to the boy after he gave me my horn back, I guess. Set into the floor here is a bearing track on which a brass cylinder rests. A blue crystal is set into its length. On one side of the turret floor is a trap door, which is open. Let's activate the beacon. It takes a moment of fiddling to find the correct place on the contraption to bring the beam to life. But once it does, it sweeps out a cylinder and across the land. Let's see, where can I aim this? If I aim it on the bridge, I could change the position of that one to somewhere else. I could just walk on the bridge. Although I don't know what that will do for me. I do want to see if I can do anything to the skeleton's bones. See if I can talk to him. You adjust the contraption position and focus carefully, watching the land shift and change under its light. As you make your adjustments, finally satisfied, you set the lantern into one of the crenellations of the turret and step back. Where the light touches you, you feel suddenly much better. Touch the blue light. You touch the blue crystal, and suddenly you feel yourself ascending. Oh, I can travel around to the towers. Huh. So, let's look around. There's a tower there that I could travel to. Tower there that I could travel to. Tower there. And a tower there. Okay. Cool. Okay, let's make a move and go back down. And see if that changes anything I would want. The inside of the tower is cavernous and empty. Make a move. Okay, let's leave. You step out into the sunlight at the base of the tower. You stride forwards. It's only letting me choose that one location. Oh, there we go. I fixed it. You walk on across the dusty plains until you meet the edge of an old road. A few clouds boil in the sky. Suddenly, the ground beneath you rumbles and begins to slide into itself. There is no time for a spell. Your arms are wide, trying to maintain your balance. Let's stab my sword into the earth. You try to stab into the sands with your sword, but they shift and melt like water, and you gain no ground at all. As the ground slips further away, forming a pit in the ground, you slide helplessly in to where something is waiting. Scramble backwards. You scramble back, just as something launches through the sand to come at you. It is a Badu beetle. Looks dangerous. Okay, what can I cast here? Let's see here. What do I have? Detect some magic. Turn to stone? No. I think maybe those were more important. Talk to all languages? Do not have that this time. No. Okay. That's the magic. What's this? Mud? Creek quicksand? Jig? I don't have that. Create shield? Let's just fight. The creature's jaws clack and rub together almost gleefully as it scuttles across the sand towards you. Let's not attack with all sand and see what this is like. I'm glad I didn't use everything. The body beetle turns about on the spot, as though it has lost track of you for a moment. It hunkers down, shell plates rippling. You swing your sword quickly, but it is not enough to penetrate the creature's shell. Okay, let's attack with everything I have. Sweet. You follow up quickly before you lose ground. You swing hard. The battle beetle is wide open as it stretches its arms for you. You cleave a deep gash that oozes green blood, its long claws stretched. Okay, let's block. You drop back, raising your sword to protect your body as much as possible. The Badu beetle dashes forward, bounding across the dirt. You fall over yourself, trying to escape of its reach. It scales backwards. Attack heavy. Okay, only one that time. The creature's arms are as long as spears, but then you see an opportunity. You aim a blow for its bug eyes. As the Badu beetle hunkers low, the Badu beetle bug stumbles and its jaws stretch wide in rage. Its hind legs begin digging in the dirt. Block. You circle away from the Badu beetle. It circles the other way. It shifts sideways. Attack heavy? Still blocked. You prepare your sword. You chop with your sword as the Badu beetle eyes turn briefly dark. The creature's vicious claws open and close. Block. You drop back. Raising your sword, the Badu beetle makes a terrifying strike. But you keep yourself calm and flick its talons away with your sword as best you can. It stiffens and then rears up. Its attack. Not all of it. Okay. Thought maybe it would block. You raise your strength. You chop at its legs. The Badu beetle's mid-lunge bends away from your blade. The Badu beetle staggers, losing its bounce, and sculling sideways several steps. The thing's cruel claws grasp at the air. Gets attack heavy? Yes. You push forwards, you slice for the bug, then your blade lands deep. You cut again, twist, and the Body beetle collapse on the dust. Two stamina lost. Let's continue. You collapse back, gasping for breath. Move on. Time to move on. Let's see. West. The abandoned road and cut across the bone-gray plain as the sun climbs towards its zenith. The wind picks up. Back to the fissure. The sun continues to climb the steep sky. You follow the old road to the edge of the river, and the grass springs to life as you walk. The grassy plains stretch away once more. Behind you the river roars and screams. A mighty bridge spans the river here. You waste no time. You must explore these fields further. Huh. So I guess there's not a vent here. Looking for a new tower that I could use. That I can't use until after I light it, but I don't see anything. Okay, let's cross back and then make this tower point the bridge. And I can teleport back to that one and light whatever I want. The sun has reached its high point now. Out of the shade, the air is baking hot. You return across the bridge, looking down into the flashing water below as you go. You are met by a cheering sight. Where once the spot held ruined foot of an ancient bridge, now a majestic stone arch rises high into the air as it crosses the river here. A way across. Okay, move on. Each step of the bridge would require effort to climb, otherwise the road leads a way well paved to the curving halo way east. Look at the fissure. The canyon looks impossibly wide. Move on. I'm getting hungry. The sun begins to dip, heading towards the horizon. To the tower. You return to the tower once more. Climb up the tower. I'm not sure what I'm doing is necessary, but I would like to have the bridge here like this. Oh, there's also a stone thing right there. Oh, the tower isn't there anymore. Let's see what happens if I do this. Can I teleport? Touch the blue crystal? Let's see what happens. You fall from the sky is just as terrifying as before, but you land safely once again. You find yourself transported and back into the plains, but the tower has gone. It has been reduced to rubble. Climb up the rubble? You clamber to the top of the stack of stones to try and get a view of the plain, but from the top you can see little more than you could from the bottom, except that looking down you see something blue, glittering from the inside of the pile of stone. A small lizard scurries out from between two of the fallen rocks. Reach for the blue gleam. You try to squeeze your hand into the crack into the stone to reach the blue gleam of the crystal, but it is still only just visible under a heap of large stone. You cannot get closer enough to reach. look into my pack for something useful. You open your pack and look for something you can use to knock the crystal free, but apart from your sword, you have nothing long and thin enough. Use my sword? You draw your sword and slip it into the cracks between the stones. The sword manages to reach the blue crystal. You could maybe flick it free, though it might damage the blade if you do. You would do better to find a stick from somewhere. Use Analan sword instead. Use your older sword rather than risking the broadsword. Slipping it down to the crystal, you nick it a few times on the stones, but eventually the tip touches the gem. You knock the crystal into the gap between the stones, where you should be able to reach it. Touch the blue crystal. You touch the blue crystal, and you begin to move upwards. Okay, I'm thinking about rewinding it all the way back before I did this, because I hadn't got anything from this to there, because I'm using up time, and I think I'm going to be timed on something. Okay, let's adjust the beam. I think this is a good spot for the beam. What happened to it? Okay. You shift the beam around its track, then step back to regard its effects. Okay. You clamber down the chamber through the trapdoor and into the body of the tower, okay? Make a move. Leave. You stride forwards. You walk for half an hour across the dusty plains, and the glass turns to dust as you go. The air stirs a little, still cold, but at least fresh. A few hundred yards ahead of you is a camp of covered wagons and carts arranged in a circle. At its center a fire burns, and you can see figures moving around the camp. Approach the camp. You walk towards the caravans, but stop suddenly when an arrow flies through the air and buries itself in the dust just to your left. Another lands to your right. Call out. Greetings, you call. There is no response, but at least there is not another arrow. I wish to trade. You have gold, replies a voice on the wind. Some. Then approach, the voice replies. Approach. You step cautiously forward. The caravan. No more arrows are fired, although as you get closer you begin to see the bowmen, shafts ready, covering your approach. A crowd is gathering to see who you are. Look at the crowd. You see a caravan of black elves. Presumably they are traders from some kind, as they are far from home, out here in the wastes, edge of the camp. The elves eye you suspiciously as you stride into their midst. An elf, stouter and better dressed than others, steps forward to confront you. Let the elder speak. If you seek shelter or food, he pauses to spit on the ground, then let him speak. The elder chews his words for another moment while you wait respectfully. Then you waste your time, the elder finishes. Looking around the crowd, you see that most of the elves are thin and haggard-looking. I need your help. The elder's face is an impassive mask. The black elves are cruel, heartless creatures. Help? He replies, almost spitting the words back at you. Help with what? I must find the 7 serpents. There is a sudden gasp from the crowd. So, murmurs the elder, you are the reason the serpents have come to Bachland and spread their terror? He is thinking hard, his arrows narrowing to slits. A moment later he seems to have decided something. Come with me, stranger. I think we might have something you will be interested in. Follow him? He heads into the caravan and you follow. Elder's caravan. He stepped up into the caravan of the black elf elder. He gestures for you to sit down. Sit. You accept his offer and sit down. Now you are interested in the 7 serpents, he says. We encountered one recently, the moon serpent, but we frightened him away. How? You demand. You must tell me. The elder glances over your shoulder. It was afraid of our fire. We lit torches and beat it back. He makes a flickering gesture to someone behind you. Where'd it go? You ask. Into the mountains, he answers. I think we should be able to arrange a meeting. Then he snaps his fingers, and in an instant 5 strong black elves rush in and grab your arms. From the position in the chair, you're all but helpless. Let's cast a spell. You move to cast a spell, but the elves have your arms firmly pinned, and without both hands free, you cannot craft magic. Yes, laughs the old elf, let's arrange for this ragged man to meet the 7 serpents. I'm sure the Archmage will be most grateful. He gestures to the elves. You know what to do, he declares. You've found 2 new clues. You are dragged across the dust to the back of the caravan. The guards set to work making a tall wooden X from 2 long planks of wood. Please do not mistake us for servants of the Archmage, the elves leader says, as you are thrown down on one of these frames. We are not, but we would be his friends. Set me free and I'll help you. You will help me just as you are, the leader replies. From his pocket, he takes a long black flag, which he ties to the top of the frame. The elf leader jerks a thumb. Hoist them up, my elves, and there's a ration of beer for all you. For a brief instant, the eager elves release your wrists. For just an instant, you might be free to craft some magic. Cast a spell. Sweet, I can cast a spell. What should I cast? Yaz? No, I don't have invisibility. Cause a sphere? No. Don't like the idea of mud. Zen? No. Zip? No. Alright, try that one. Ah. Okay, run. You try to run. You try to scramble away, but the elves react immediately, grabbing at your arms and throwing you back onto the frame. Thick ropes lash your wrists, cutting deep. Then the frame is hoisted up into the air, and as you hang from the cross, arms unscrewing from their sockets, the caravan packs up and rolls away into the wastes. You are powerless to prevent them from leaving you behind. Let's see what happens. I could pray, but I wouldn't mind finding one of the serpents finally. You wait, conserving your strength, intending to call out should you see a passerby, or perhaps the frames are not securely planted in the soil, which and will fall, and you will be able to get free if you only hang on. The air moves a little, still icy but fresh. Day 5. You found 2 new clues. No one comes to your aid. A group of buzzards discover your position and begin to circle, no doubt daring one another to strike out your eyes. Call out to them? You call to the birds to help you, to pluck clean the strands from your wrists and ankles, but nothing changes. The night turns to day, and your hungry belly churns and tears at you. There is no escaping your fate. What is your fate? You are ready to die, vision blurred and body weak, when you hear a clatter of hooves. A creature on horseback rides up, with a bow slung over its shoulders. Black elves, it calls, unslinging its bow. I hate their kind. Notching an arrow, he takes aim at you. I hate them too. Not as much as I, the creature replies. It draws back the bowstring to its full extent. Pray for aid? You try to calm your mind into a prayer as the creature releases the arrow. It flies straight and true, with perfect aim, the tip slicing clean through the rope tied around your wrists. A second arrow frees one leg, leaving you able to reach over and untie the other bonds. Your finger shakes and shivers as they work. Free myself. Oh my gosh, I'm down to 3 after having almost like 20. Down to 3. As the morning moves on, the wind begins to rise. It takes hours, but finally the bonds loosen and you tumble painfully to the ground below. Get up. You get to your feet, gasping, ready to crawl away into the desert. The night is dark, but there is nowhere in this ghastly plain to rest. Limp away. You crawl away from the camp. That event sucked. I'm tempted to rewind just to go all the way back. To not go there, because I was thinking I was going to buy things. That's what it made it sound like. And then they ended up. I just lost.
Well, you got clues, I guess.
Oh yeah, let's see the clues. I think I knew an idea that the moon serpent existed. Moon serpent is in the mountains. The cave is in the cliff at the entrance to the Balkans. And the moon serpent is scared of fire. it seems like. Okay, I did get those clues, I suppose. I don't know which way to go. Can't go back. Guess I'll look around a little more. Let's go north. The sun is hot now. You walk through the wild fields, thick with crops. A few goats graze on low hillocks in the land, watching you with beady eyes. This place seems to be rich. It seems impossible that it could ever become a place as desolate as the Blacklands. Look around. Looking south, you see a tower. Further on in that direction, a river rushes through the plains. Move on. You stride on through the long, switching grass, then from somewhere close at hand you hear a voice. Someone there. Got any water, have you? Look for the speaker. You turn around on the spot, but there is no one else in sight. The grassy plains stretch endlessly away. Where are you? You call out. I can't see you. Aha! The voice declares. I thought I heard someone. Down here, please. Any food you have? Water? Anything? Look into the grass. You hunt through the long grass. Warmer, calls the voice. Getting warmer. Why are you hiding? You demand, suddenly suspicious. I'm not hiding, the voice snaps back. I'm here. I'm right here. Can't you see me? I can't, you reply. Then walk carefully, the voice advises, or you'll kick me. You look down sharply to see a face staring back at you. The head is sitting in the mud, just by your boot. Greetings, he declares, cheerfully enough. Do you have any water? I'm dying of thirst. I'll get you some water, you tell him, although you haven't anything any anything to carry water in. The head cracks like a taped egg into a smile. Bless you, stranger. You've got a good soul. Well, good souls. What do I get in return? The head wiggles its eyebrows. All right, the head replies, somewhat annoyed, though I'm not sure what I can do for you. I don't have anything to carry water in, though. Ugh. Have you heard of the seven serpents? The head furrows. I want to lie to you and say yes, it replies eventually, but I won't. I've never heard of any serpents, and seven sounds like a lot. There's a shiver in his voice as he speaks. Okay. Enough questions. You have learnt all you care to learn. This creature clearly knows nothing of the seven serpents. Or I could give him some bloomberry potion. Do I have bloomberry potion? I don't think I did. Or was it in magical items? Okay. Yeah, I guess I'll give him that. You open your pack to remove a vial. Bloomberry, you tell it. Interested? The head nods fervently, and then throws itself open. You unstopper the vial and pour the potion in. The head swallows, coughs, and sputters, but manages to get at least some of the liquid in. A wide smile spreads across its features. "Wonderful," it declares. "You have no idea how wonderful. That'll keep me going, another day at least." Dig up the head. "I'll get you out of there," you declare. The head jiggles. "That would be a great idea," it agrees. "I'd be more grateful than you can imagine." Dig in the mud? You scrape into the mud either side of the head with your hands. There seems to be some kind of neck below the chin, which goes down into the ground. "Are you seriously going to dig me out with your fingernails?" the head asks. "'Cause that's gonna take me a long time." "Maybe I can cast a spell? I don't want to use a sword, I might kill him." Zap? No. This will work. Clone the caster. You bind the starlight into shape around you, and 5 clone steps out from behind you, forming a semicircle. Dig up the head. Working together, you dig the head out of the ground in no time, to find he is in fact a man buried up to the neck in the ground. "Blessed Throff," he breathes. "I can hardly believe it." Turning to you he lowers his eyes and in solemn acknowledgment. "I am quite clear. I owe you my life. I will repay the debt in any way I can, though I have limit to offer." One by one your clones vanish. He pats down his pockets. "I have nothing to offer you." "Core information?" you tell him. He shrugs. "I've been buried in the ground for some time, but I tell you what. I'll go back to Karema and find out what I can. If we meet again, I'll give you the meat of it. Acceptable?" Option to, "I just rebury you." Nah. Acceptable. He nods. "And so, we are quits. Be well." Then with a flamboyant wave he takes off and across the field at a run. After a few paces he seems to trip on something, but he quickly gets up, apologies to something you can't see, and is gone into the mist of the Balklands. Okay. So I might get more information. I might not get anything at all except the lost potion and another stamina loss. But I think this is a good place to stop. Thank you for watching. Please leave a like and subscribe and leave a comment down below about what you think of this event here. Do you think I should have not even bothered going to the camp? So far I feel like it was more waste than not useful. Anyways, thank you for watching and I will see you next time.